Maryland that is getting a lot of attention this hour. The Supreme Court ruling that Kilmar Abrego Garcia, one of the 260 alleged gang members deported to El Salvador last month, should return to the United States or could return to the United States. Now, the administration says that he was mistakenly deported, but insists that he is a member of MS-13. He denies that. During Trump's meeting with El Salvador President Bukele earlier today, the administration was pressed about bringing him back to the United States. Watch.
That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us. The Supreme Court ruled, President, that if, as El Salvador wants to return him, this is international matters, foreign affairs. If they wanted to return him, we would facilitate it, meaning provide a plane.
The question is preposterous. How can I smuggle a terrorist into the United States? I don't have the power to return him to the United States.
Interesting answer there. Okay, with that, we bring in border czar Tom Homan. Tom, welcome back. Great to have you with us today. Your thoughts on this exchange, Pam Bondi involved, President Bukele involved today in the discussion of this Maryland man?
Well, I think Pam Bondi's right. You know, he's a El Salvadoran national, born in El Salvador. He's in El Salvador's custody. So El Salvador would have to agree to release him. It doesn't sound like they're going to. And if we did get him back in the United States, he's going to be detained. He's an MS-13 gang member based on our intelligence and El Salvador's intelligence. So he's been designated terrorist, so he's going to be locked up regardless. So I agree with Pam Bondi. I think we can facilitate a return if El Salvador wants to send him back, but I don't think Bukele's going to do that at all.
Yeah. This is another moment from that same meeting in the Oval Office today. President Trump asked if whether he would deport non-foreign aliens, citizens in this case. So just watch this, and I'd like to get your reaction to this.
You mentioned that you're open to deporting individuals that aren't foreign aliens but are criminals to El Salvador. Does that include potentially U.S. citizens, fully naturalized Americans?
What, do you think there's a special category of person? They're as bad as anybody that comes in. We have bad ones too. And I'm all for it. If it's a homegrown criminal, I have no problem.
Can you describe who would fall into that category and what the president was referring to there, Tom?
You know, Martha, I don't know. I haven't had that discussion with the president. I've been on the road. I just got home like an hour ago, so I haven't had a discussion with the president or the DHS secretary, so I'm going to have to pass on that question. Okay,
that's fine. It sort of came out of nowhere, the question, so I wondered if you knew something that we didn't know on that. I also thought this was really an important moment with the El Salvadoran president when he talked about the people that he has taken into this prison, and he gave this example. Watch.
We even had this gang member from Venezuela, one of the ones you sent. He said, oh, well, you know, I got arrested 6 times, but they released me the 6th time, so I should be released again. And then I said, well, what's the last thing you do? And he said, well, I shot a cop in the leg, but I didn't kill him. I just shot him in the leg.
That's pretty stunning admission when he says this is one of the guys that they talked to that they brought into that prison.
Well, look, I stand by the fact that every one of these people removed El Salvador is a significant public safety threat and a terrorist. I mean, MS-13 and Tren de Agua has both been designated terrorists. I think Bukele's been a great partner in the United States. It's just not he's helping us with MS-13 members that MS-13 was born in that country. But MS-13 is in several different countries around the globe. And I think Bukele is stepping up to eradicate MS-13 no matter where they are. So he's going to assist the United States and get them out of here. You know, the crime rate in El Salvador has plummeted over 90% because of President Bukele, locking up 1,000 MS-13 members. He's not going to be happy to every MS-13 member that came out of El Salvador is rounded up across the globe and sent to El Salvador. That's the type of president he is, and I got to respect that.
Talk to us a little bit about the effort to move people out of this country. Criminals first, the worst first, as you have said all along, but other people who get picked up in these efforts as well. How is it going numbers-wise? We haven't seen numbers in a while. Can you characterize the progress for us this afternoon?
Well, the interior ICE arrest numbers are about 58,000, a majority of them being criminals, according to the numbers I saw yesterday. Look, the majority is criminals, but here's what you and I talked about several times. When sanctuary cities release a criminal back into the community, that forces us to go into the community and find him. And when we find him, we normally will, many times they're with others. Others that are in the United States illegally, but may not be a criminal public safety threat target. But we're not going to tell ICE to walk away from an illegal alien like the last administration did. The last administration told ICE you can't arrest somebody for being here illegally unless they're getting convicted of a serious crime. That's not what the law says. We're not going to tell immigration enforcement officers, you know what, ignore the oath we took, ignore the immigration law, and walk away. So I've said it many times, sanctuary cities are going to get exactly what they don't want. More agents in your community, because you're forcing us in the community, not because on the whole team look for the bad guy. It means more collateral arrest. If they simply let us in a taxpayer-funded jail, one agent could arrest one criminal alien, but they don't do that. So that's why the collateral numbers continue to rise, because we're forcing the community.
Yeah, Tom, you've spent a lot of time, too much time, with angel moms and angel families. And you saw Rachel Morin in the beginning, and you and I talk this afternoon as this jury is about to start deliberating her suspected killer's fate. And you heard her mom, Rachel Morin, say in that soundbite, you know, if only someone had done a DNA swab on him, they would have discovered that he was wanted for murder in El Salvador and not let him go free. This is in the prior administration. Your thoughts as we wait for this jury's deliberations on this case?
Well, first of all, I met Rachel Morin several times, and it's never easy. You're right. I met too many angel moms and dads who buried their children. A preventable crime because the illegal aliens should never been there. So a heartbreaking story, every one of them. But I met Rachel Morin, and what a sweet lady, and what a tragedy she's dealing with. But you're exactly right. When I was with the Fox Network for the last 4 years, I was complaining every day that they're releasing people into this country without proper vetting. Secretary Mayorkas says, well, they're all vetted. No, they're not, because you don't have access to other countries' criminal databases. So we misled the American people, and as we see, we're arresting thousands of foreign nationals of criminal histories in other countries. Unfortunately, they get here and they commit a crime against U.S. citizens. They rape and murder young ladies. They burned a lady alive on a subway. It's just, you know, it's just constant. But President Trump made a promise to American people: we're going to find these foreign national public safety threats and eradicate them from this country. And that's exactly what we're doing. In the first 2 months, we arrested more criminal alien threats in this country in 2 months than Joe Biden did in a year. Border numbers down 95%. And ICE is out there arresting criminal aliens 24/7 across this country. And we're going to keep the president's promise to eradicate criminal aliens from this country.
Well, we don't want any more angel moms or Rachel Morins in the club, and I know you feel that way, and we commend you for the work that you're doing, and we are grateful to have you here today. Thank you very much. The Border Czar, Tom Homan. Thank you, Tom.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.